All right, good morning, everybody. Hi. There's no doubt, it's obvious. Just look through history or like your own life, that spirituality, sometimes in the form of religion, can be perverted, weaponized, used for something that it wasn't originally intended for. Like, I guess the most obvious thing here is like, a group of people takes a teaching that's about peace and, la-di-da, and starts some wars over it. And that's just one example. On a personal level, I know in my life, where I come from feeling like superior, it's like natural, what you're going for, basically, to be better than others, which is, it's true for a lot of people. Big ego stuff, and so it's kind of funny that well, for me, the way that takes shape is that when I consider myself now to be sort of like a spiritual person, I guess, or to have spirituality as part of my life, part of my thing, part of my goal, or just what's going on. But that's those same patterns of like looking for, needing superiority, they just play out in that arena also. So like, yeah, on a personal level, comparison to others for sure, criticizing others for not being as far along, and especially prime target is my family for sure. So like my parent or my wife mostly. It's funny when you can like see it and laugh about it, but in the moment it's super hurtful. It's just like it's on a personal level, just like a war. Making the other one into the heathen, the ones who don't know the truth. Like, sounds silly, but it happens in an unspiritual, I guess you could call it, way too, when one partner accuses the other one of needing more therapy. Make yourself better. Like, I've done all this work on myself. Like, I've said these words almost like word for word. Like, I've been doing this for so long. I went through all this stuff. I've done so much therapy. I went through Al-Anon. I dealt with my crap. So, like, deal with yours. That kind of talk. And it is like, it takes some honesty, some awareness to say, like, that is the same old stuff, just playing in a new arena. The thing is, it's hairy because it might be like a little bit true, right? Like, we can always be a little bit true. You're like, okay, yes, I have done all this work on myself or whatever. Lots of years, yeah, I'm like committed to this. But does that make me like better in any way? Nope. It doesn't. But underneath there, that's like what I'll call it, wants to use. And that's the whole thing, that it can use almost anything. And that includes spirituality, religion, all this stuff. It can use it just like it can use any other thing that happens, any other characteristic. I'm better than you because of this. I am better than you because of this. You should be doing this. Apply it to anything. So that's where it gets like really fun and hairy for spiritual seekers. Because the ego, if you want to call it that, whatever, is mega resourceful. Oh my goodness. So resourceful. It will use anything. So the battle continues. It's very funny. And there's lots of stories of people who are, get a following and then go nuts, basically. Gurus, heads of organizations, they go crazy. It's like it's the same thing comes back even harder sometimes, and there's Netflix shows about this. But you can feel it in yourself, which is really, it's something else. Because you can understand how it can happen. Feel it in yourself. It's always right there. It's just different flavors. But man, it can be like very confusing. And of course other people can react to it then very strongly, of course. It's like abuse of power, basically. That's what it feels like. It's some interesting stuff. But I have most certainly, like I used to, back in high school when I yelled at somebody for like half an hour straight because she lied to a friend of mine, or that's what I thought. That's self-righteousness, that like thinking that I was correct enough to basically attack her 50 times harder than anything that she could have possibly done wrong. That same inclination, maybe much smaller now, but it's there, and it's like semi-dormant maybe, but it just can pop out, under certain stressors, certain situations, it pops out, and it weaponizes whatever it can grab, whatever it can, gets weaponized into a very forceful, sometimes attack on the other person. And it's sad that most of the time this is targeted at my wife, like the one who's supposed to be getting the opposite. But that's how it is a lot of the time. People closest to us get the worst of it. But it's something else. Because it's so twisted. That's what makes it so strange. It's so twisted. Like you're taking something that's supposed to result in, and does, when it's not twisted, in compassion, true empathy and love, feelings of like connection, twisted into its exact opposite. That's why it's also so like interesting, I think, to the mind, because it looks like such a weird juxtaposition to have basically these massive egos, aggressive egos, that are in the clothes of spiritual, peaceful people. Like basically, that's a fascinating phenomenon to see. Like the heavily armed religious, peaceful sects, like groups who live on a farm somewhere, but they have AKs. Something's not right. In any case, I wanted to mention this just because it happens on the place where we can look at it is right here. With us, with me, I can look at it and see it. And next time maybe be less inclined to go down that road. Yeah, I think very, very common thing though. It's hardly just in me. It's in everybody. It's just another way that things get twisted and turned around. Very positive things can get twisted and turned around. So that's why it's like always and will always continue to be necessary to be aware of all of this and very vigilant and knowing that this is possible and that there's always like a little bit of a knock at the door like, hey, are you watching? Because if you're not, I'm coming and I'll use everything I can to act out. Always knocking at the door, but quieter. I guess that's it for today. Thank you. Hope you have a nice Monday.